So today we'll be looking at one of the things that AEW could learn from WWE NXT. AEW Dynamite has been on live television since October 2nd, 2019. I was there attending the first ever televised show, although that fact is completely unrelated to this topic video. As you may know, AEW Dynamite is currently going head to head with WWE NXT every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, but as for the UK, it's every Thursday at 1 a.m. Greenwich Mean Time. As of this moment, AEW has done their tremendous job on showing great quality matches, promos, and segments weekly on Dynamite. Fun fact, they have managed to beat NXT by TV ratings. I mean, ratings don't matter at all, right? All we want to see is great wrestling every week. Even though Dynamite has some ups and downs for every episode on TNT, there are some of the things that AEW needs to learn from WWE NXT. We're looking at the 5 lessons AEW could learn from WWE NXT. Number 5, strong character development. One of the things AEW has been struggling with lack of character development for the vast majority of the roster, an issue that has plagued WWE in recent years. Triple H has done a great job on pushing certain stars to the top in his own brand. Maybe that is something Vince McMahon needs to learn as well. AEW has a lot of potential and unique stars with the likes of Sammy Guevara, Darby Allin, Jungle Boy, Luchasaurus, and among others. There has been relatively little time and effort put into establishing solid backgrounds for those characters outside of what they do in the ring, and few video package here and there. Unlike WWE, they failed to develop and utilize those certain talented wrestlers who had successful run outside of the company prior to joining WWE. There are many ways AEW can make a more concerted effort to familiarize casual fans with its star. I'm sure that AEW has done a solid job on utilizing those up and coming talents, but it's quite a shame that AEW can't assume that everyone would tune in to know everything about mid/lower card performers, or that everyone watches AEW Dark. Number 4, don't sign a lot of talent. It's pretty much a good thing that AEW isn't planning to hire certain stars, even those from the indie scenes. Look at WWE Rejects, those talented wrestlers who end up being wasted and misused. I mean, they have 2 main roster brands with overflowed rosters. Only about at least 60% of the roster were pretty misused, which caused them to leave the company for good or requesting for their release just after Revival. AEW Dynamite is a 2-hour weekly show, and you don't see many stars on live television every week, while some of them are out for various reasons. Good thing that AEW isn't planning to hire more talent for a while now, and that's a smart move. Otherwise, don't sign more talent than you need only for them to sit and do nothing. Number 3, prioritize the women's division. There is no argue that NXT has built up some great women's division, and they have done a tremendous job on prioritizing the women's division. Well, let's see. As for AEW, there are lots of criticism that fans have said on social media, and Kenny Omega wasn't very pleased about it. Well, let's go over it. Riho is the inaugural AEW Women's World Champion and has appeared on Dynamite for at least 6 times and successfully defended at least 3 times, and she didn't appear on Dynamite every week, even though she has been taking many bookings in Japan and didn't show up every week on Dynamite. The problem is that AEW Women's Division have been struggling to build up promising talents. Good thing that Chris Sadler gets a bigger spotlight after she signed with the company. But what about those talented stars like Bea Priestley, Britt Baker, Hikaru Shida, and other certain names? There are about at least 10 women on the roster, and you have at least one women's matches on Dynamite every week, and AEW didn't try hard enough to develop mostly every woman on the roster. This is one of the reasons why AEW has lack of build-ups for a women's division, because we don't want them to end up like WWE Divas from 2010. Not to mention, if you have seen AEW Bash at the Beach, you would have known that the crowd were dead silent as soon as the match started. During the match, there were so many botches going on, which is why AEW women's matches are need to be series choreographed. They're not even trying hard enough. Overall, the women roster needs more development in talent because they're performing some of the worst matches on the broadcast. I'll be honest, I think the AEW women's stars should really take note on how to build up better quality matches and stories. Number 2, right mix of promos and wrestling matches. The executive vice president of AEW, Cody, has stated that they won't be doing a long promo like if it's 20 minutes, and the promo won't be scripted, and it's a great idea that AEW doesn't need any unnecessarily long promos. But AEW needs to find a healthy balance between promos and wrestling matches. While AEW is certainly targeted towards a more niche audience in comparison to WWE, we've seen WWE really struggle with its ability to find the right mix of promos and wrestling matches every week. Usually, WWE has been relying on promos and backstage segments to carry its product, which is why plenty of fans complain that WWE is focusing too much on entertainment and lack of sport. No wonder why WWE is being known as sports entertainment. Meanwhile, AEW is actual professional wrestling, which they are clearly targeting toward fans who are more interested in the sport aspect of pro wrestling. It's a good thing that AEW has time limit and power ranking, as they are treating like it's a sport. Overall, AEW must know for sure that they will have to balance both promos and wrestling every week, because even though the crowd is consistently hot for AEW matches, those fans would be even hotter if they were more emotionally invested in the characters behind those in-ring performers. And number 1, don't rely heavily on former WWE stars. I think we all know the definition, right? I mean, look at former WWE stars working for AEW right now. Let's see: Cody, Chris Jericho, Jon Moxley, Pac, Shawn Spears, Jim Ross, Dustin Rhodes, and others. You can name them. Hell, they even have Jake Hager, who is currently an MMA fighter. It's very risky for the company if you're gonna have a lot of former WWE stars and legends on the roster. It's a smart move that AEW isn't planning to hire every former WWE star / rejects. I mean, look what happened to TNA Impact. It would be very unfair if AEW books every former WWE stars over homegrown wrestlers. That's why it's very crucial that AEW has built up its own homegrown superstars like Adam Page, Britt Baker, Darby Allin, MJF, Jungle Boy, and Luchasaurus. AEW will have to depend heavily upon their build up its own identity, and that's something that simply can't happen if the majority of the card features stars who were in the WWE at one point or another. It's fine that AEW is still utilizing former WWE names to get more exposure, but the company needs to tread lightly, because when it comes to the day that AEW pushes every WWE stars like Cody, Rhodes, Jake Hager, Chris Jericho, and Jon Moxley at the expense of homegrown stars like Adam Page, Britt Baker, and others, the fans will end up turning their back on the company. Well, there you have it, folks. If there's any reason that AEW needs to learn, feel free to leave your comments down below. With that said, thanks for watching. Feel free to leave a like and subscribe. Stylers clash, and don't forget to subscribe my channel as well. Until then, thanks for watching.